Welcome to the Wake Up Dad Show. This is episode number 7.
Wake up, Dad!
Are you confused and overwhelmed about your role in all the craziness that is being a dad? Are you struggling to create the life you hope for? Are you looking for other dads to share your struggles and your triumphs? Or do you just need help waking up in the morning? Join your host, Dr. Scott Vatcher, as he explores the amazing and sometimes crazy world of being a dad. This is the Wake Up Dad Show.
Hey Dad, and welcome to another episode of the Wake Up Dad Show. This show is dedicated to you, the dad who wants more success, time, health, fitness, connection, passion, and all-around awesomeness. I'm your host, Dr. Scott, and on today's episode, we're going to go into P number 4, providing. So let's have a quick review of the 5 P's of dadhood before we get into today's episode. P number 1 is purpose. P number 2, power. P number 3, parenting. P number 4, providing. And P number 5, passion. So let's talk about providing. That's about us being able to, as dads, really, I guess it's a bit of a stereotypical role because it's not nearly as common in today's world as it once was. But it is that role of being able to provide for our families. And I don't know the exact statistics, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that dads typically are the major breadwinners for the family, so to speak. But it's a very different role for us today because I think even 1 or 2 generations ago, that really tended to be our major role. We would go to work, we would make the money, and we would come home, and somehow magically the mums out there would have everything done. But in today's world, and I think you guys would probably agree with me for the most part, is we get home from a big day's work, and it's not like that anymore. And I'm not faulting anybody for that, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying that times have changed. And I'm not saying it's for a bad thing, but it is a lot more to it than just going out and having a job and coming home at the end of the day and then having dinner cooked for us and the kids are ready and are already in bed and everything else. It's a very different role out there. So really the big picture here is about being a man, and not just money, but creating stability and creating that stability really comes back to sort of a masculine energy. And in an upcoming interview that I've recorded with Marcus Pierce, he gets really deep into that masculine energy, feminine energy. And it's not about man and woman, but particular energy patterns that we create. And as a masculine energy, I think having stability is really important for our family. And that's a big part of providing. It's not just about the money. And when it comes to providing, I think a lot of dads out there might be stuck, so to speak, in jobs or roles that they literally hate. And I don't think that's healthy for anybody, and I don't think it's the best productivity that we can create as a society either. So the other idea I want to get across with providing is to find your passion and follow that passion. But when I say that, you need a plan. And in the episode coming up tomorrow with Dr. Evan Hill, he really goes into detail about that, about following his passion, but having a plan of action to create that and not just being whimsical about it. Find out how to make money doing your passion. And that can be a difficult thing to figure out, and it can take time and energy and maybe a lifelong project. I guess I'll call myself, I hate to say it, lucky, because it's not luck, but I placed myself in a really great position where I really, really love what I do. So it's really not about work for me. It's about creating change in the world. And once you find that passion, I think really, really important part after that is to find mentors. Find people who are doing what you want to do and follow them. Be mentored by them. Ask them questions. A lot of them are fully willing to help you out. And the ones who aren't really probably aren't the greatest mentors to have anyway. So, thinking about that idea, check out Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V online. And this guy is spectacular at talking about how to make it work, how to create a plan, how to have your 9-to-5 job and work on your passion project on the side until there's a point where you can switch it over and have your passion project become your major lifelong process of providing for your family. So guys, I hope that helps in some small way. We're obviously going to be going into providing in much greater detail. I'm going to talk about plans of action, how to do budgeting, looking at all kinds of different aspects around this idea of providing into the future, entrepreneurship and stuff. And we're going to have a lot of great interviews with a lot of amazing people, some of which I already have set up, but I cannot tell you yet. So for today, and really this comes back as far as dad work, homework for dads, is finding out where you are, number one, because I know a lot of dads out there are struggling. And families are struggling financially, and the amount of pressure that puts on dad as a particular pressure, but then as the whole family, and feeling like you're a failure is step number one, just like we talked about with purpose, is finding out where you are, who you are, where you want to be, and finding that gap and realizing exactly what that gap is. And when we find that out, then we can start to do something about it. But if we just stick our head in the sand and pretend it's not happening and just continue to dig holes financially for ourselves, because it's really easy to do that with the way the financial institutions are set up, to dig holes and to dig big holes, and getting out of them can be extremely difficult. So it can feel easier to stick your head in the sand. So that's my bit of homework for this episode, guys, is find out where you are. Go talk to a financial planner. Maybe not take their advice. That's a whole other situation, which we'll probably get into in a future episode. But go talk to a financial planner to get the idea of where you are, and then sit down and really think about what you want to do to get there. Because if you've got massive goals as far as this providership area and financial changes, then it's going to take a massive amount of work. And if you've got smaller goals, it's going to take a smaller amount of work. But you got to know where you are first. So guys, I hope that's of some help for this episode. That's it for today's episode. Dr. Scott signing off. And remember, dads, let's keep becoming better dads together.
Do you want to know more about the Wake Up Dad movement? Go to www.thewakeupdadshow.com to download any and all past issues of the show, claim your free gift, or to directly ask Dr. Scott any questions you have. Continue the conversation on the Facebook group Wake Up Dad. Share this podcast with other dads on iTunes or Google Play. Make sure to subscribe to the show and give us a rating so we can reach more dads. And dads, one last thing. Wake up!